Hey everybody, Kimberly here, and I am ready to give you my insight on Slay the Spire. Now, if you remember at my BGG from this last year, my video I talked about demoing one round of Slay the Spire, the board game, and we had a really good time. I could tell my husband's attention was constantly back at getting the game, and of course, before we left the con, he picked it up. He is a huge fan of the video game, and I have seen so many hours of him playing the game. Now, playing the board game, I felt was really immersive and way fun because it is a cooperative deck building roguelike game, and players are on an adventure. There are going to be acts that players essentially have to play through, and an act is this. I really wanted to just keep the box packed up because it's so well thought out and considered for space and for repacking. But you have two boards. This first one is going to be your Act 1, and you'll see that players begin down here, and there are going to be these randomized spaces, and you essentially get to pick your path, and every space you go to, you will reveal some kind of adventure or opportunity or mystery or battle. And you get to do that one final rest action before you get to the baddie. And then you've got Act 1 back here too, which is different. So you have two different Act 1 boards. These are going to be the spaces for the 1 to 4 players, and you'll be putting cards out to the side here that are going to be your enemies or your foes whenever you reach a particular foe space or a minion or monster space. So you've got your Act 1, you've got your Act 2 board right here, and then Act 3 on the back, and there might be an opportunity once you gain keys to get to Act 4. And the way you gain keys is with a lot of player sacrifice, which is just wild. Now, if any player dies, it's over. Now, these are going to be your player boards. And again, with the characters, I think they're really fascinating because you've got totally different abilities that happen maybe at the end of combat, at the start of combat, and start of combat here for these 4 characters. Now, there are some basics that get up to a little bit more complicated or challenging for players to play. But you've got your player boards here, and you've got these fantastic boxes with all of your stuff, your chits, your money, your poisons, your cubies, your dice, your little daggers. Some characters get special items that other characters don't get. And you are going to build your deck. Now, I do want to show this to you because this is where the game is at. Now, I'm going to pull out the player that I played. This is going to be that green player. And the really fun feature, the fun element to this game is that you've got 3 different decks for your players. So the first deck is your starter deck. Then you have your card rewards and rare rewards. So this is going to be essentially my player deck that I start with every time. And cards have these broken down into, in this case, it's a skill card and it has 1 defense on my shield. Whenever I have my markers, it's going to be my, here's my character board right here. I have a block, an ability to block, and so this card is going to allow me to do blocking. I'm going to have an ongoing health marker. In this case, I get an attack, and that little red sword is an attack. These are going to cost these energy, though. So if I play a card, oh, in this case, look at that. I get to do a neutralize attack, and it's going to be essentially 0 cost, and I'm going to be able to execute this, which is so good. So my basic cards are kind of almost all the same. All the ones I showed you so far, with the exception of this Survivor. It gives me 2, and I also get to discard a card. And with this particular deck, it definitely benefits you to discard cards. But at the start of combat, you get to draw 2 more. Really cool. And then they have daggers and poison as part of this particular character's deck. Now, there are all of these cards, so when players get the chance to add cards to their deck, because this is a deck builder, you have all of these cards. Now, this means that for every single character has a unique deck that has 80 plus cards in it, and you draw cards, and you essentially are picking from the top cards that you draw and then putting the others on the bottom. So you are cycling through this deck It takes a really long time. I would say in 3 acts total, you may get to half. You may get to half the deck, and that's just one game. Every act takes about 60 to 90 minutes to play. And you can always just put a pin in it, come back later, play Act 2 after you've played Act 1. And these cards obviously get better and better and better. You can also take them out and you will essentially upgrade them. The upgraded side is better in every way, and also reminds you it's the upgrade because it's got the font is a little different. So this dagger spray becomes dynamite. So every single card has 2 sides to it. This deck is insanely big. And then you might even get unique cards. And your rare rewards are yellow backed. And you rarely get these, but oh my gosh, if they're not the coolest thing. And so they are for real. So good. Here's a card called Die, Die, Die. And you flip it over, and even these cards have an upgraded side. So you've got this, I mean, you do bomb damage, and then you've got, I think everybody in the row essentially gets hit for 4, and then you exhaust your card. So you can only have that once per time you shuffle your deck when you start. But just so good, so good. So for me, the potential or the possibilities here are just insane. Like when I'm playing a game, a cooperative deck building game like Aeon's End, you have a character, you get to do like stats and upgrades and really cool things. But for me, this has just, again, amazing potential, crazy potential. I'm like wondering, how am I ever going to fully play just green character? How am I going to play? I've got all the characters out here with their starting deck, their regular deck, and then their super cool rare deck. And then of course you're going to have a whole bunch of interesting foes to fight. You got your minions and you got your little harder guys to fight. But every single character has their board with their specialty, and it just makes you feel like you can work together. I love the cooperative nature of this. I love the choose your own path, like pick your own adventure, direction that you go. You can talk with your fellow players. The way that the rounds work are so straightforward. You've got your list. Here's my cheat sheet, but essentially you just walk straight down your cheat sheet and it just tells you exactly what to do and when to do. You've got your whole combat round. Everything is really, really clearly laid out in not just the rules. Oh, here it is. This is your board. I put it over here. But again, it all fits in there so well together. This is it. You've got your combat round. You've got your icons. You've got your enemies. So here's your board. And then whenever you have a market, you've got all of here's your stuff that's available to you. You got sale items. You can remove cards from your deck. So the way that this works with the deck building is just amazing. And as you work together, you are trying to, of course, defeat your foes and not lose anybody. That's the thing, is you really want to make sure that you don't lose anyone, because that's going to be end of game for you, is if someone dies. They essentially go past their 1 and they lose that last point. So this is packaged so well. The cards and the characters are incredibly thoughtful and considerate. I love the dynamic play. The character I was playing versus the characters that my friends were playing, they were so different but also incredibly valuable. And there were chances for us to really work together and then make progress. And I loved it. I love coming back to the game, coming back to an act. It just gets really hard. It ramps up. Like I said, you have no idea how many hours of Slay the Spire, the video game, I have watched in my life. And I feel like it just keeps getting harder and harder and harder. And the roguelike feature of this is that when you die, and the game is over and you have to start over from scratch. You get none of the abilities, none of the upgrades, none of the items and equipment, nothing. You have to essentially start over from the very bottom and then work your way up again and learn from your mistakes and get better and better and better as you go, which is a fascinating feature. So again, a lot to like here. I will say the only bone to pick that I have, and it's just simply a personal preference, is that I'm not a fan of the artwork. I'm not a fan of the graphics. And I really wasn't a fan of the graphics when I watched the game. not appealing to me. It doesn't work for me. But I think that everything else, so the gaming aspects, the structure, the mechanics of this game are so good. And to take that solo video game and to make it into a cooperative multiplayer game, absolute knocked it out of the park, in my opinion, having come from some experience with the video game, but really mostly with the board game itself. So it's so easy to get back into, and this is the kind of game, much like I would play with Aeon's End, any kind of Legacy with their game, or with like Frosthaven, or with Gloomhaven. This is going to be that kind of summer game that just keeps coming out over and over again as we keep playing and keep discovering new things about the characters, about their decks, and about our dynamic as we play together. Just a ton of fun and a wonderful, again, the box is big, it's heavy, but everything is here that needs to be here, and it's just really, really easy to get everything back into place, to get it all packaged up, and to essentially get that lid right back on, and wow, boy is it delightful. So Slay the Spire, the board game, again, 1 to 4 players. I highly recommend playing it with 2 to 4 so that you have that non-solo experience, but you can absolutely play this solo. I just think it's kind of fantastic that it is now for more than 1 player. So for me, that's definitely the appeal with this. So get ready, gear up for that cooperative, again, roguelike deck building adventure with you and a couple of your friends. Slay the Spire will absolutely 100% scratch that itch. All right, everyone. Happy summer. I'll see you later.